Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the POT. Podcast tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improve like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improve like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Wrasslin. I'm the POT alongside my tag team partner Big E, and we're here to bring you another episode of premium wrestling content. Bro, what's going on?
Hey man, it's welcome to Wrasslin, episode 14. We 14 in. Hey man, shout out to all the new subscribers, old subscribers, people that thinking about subscribing. Keep watching, keep liking, keep commenting, because we're gonna keep busting them out. Hey man, today is something different. We've been talking about spreading a little spotlight on independent wrestling in the state of Georgia. And we got a former independent wrestler on here tonight. It's gonna be our first interview. We've been knowing this dude for a while. Hooked up with him a couple of years ago after, high school and stuff when he was still in the business, and got to go check him out once or twice. And yeah, we got him on here, so let's bring him on, man. It's Greg Roper, G Smooth, Mr. Breaking News. What's up, brother?
How's it going, brothers? How y'all doing? Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man, we've been talking about it. We was like, we got to get Greg on here, man, talk about his journey in the wrestling business. So, hey, man, let's just start it off, man, and let you go ahead and have the floor, and let's just talk about your wrestling journey. And we'll start from, was you a fan at the beginning? Just, just let us know. We want to know who trained you, what stories you got, and what run-ins you done had, and just the ambitions that you have. And, just curious to know, a little jealous, that you've been in that ring, that you've been in that ring before. We ain't never got to drop nobody on their head. So,
Yeah, we ain't take no bumps on the platform and the match.
No.
Hey, man, first and foremost, man, I love what y'all are doing with the podcast. I appreciate you all showing love to the industry. I mean, it's amazing. And I try to spread it out as much as I can for you. But peace and blessings to y'all, and I love it.
Yeah, man, appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us
my
about
journey.
Yeah, go ahead and break it down for us.
My journey into the business was, I was definitely blindsided by this wasn't what I saw me doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I was attending Campbell High School as a sophomore.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And a friend of mine who he was my neighbor. He lived in my backyard, like not in my backyard, but his house was behind mine. And so every time he would come over to the house, I was talking about wrestling. And he was like, and he went to Wheeler. He was a senior at Wheeler at this time.
Okay.
And so he's like, man, I got a homeboy at school. He talks about wrestling all the time. In fact, he's training to be a pro wrestler. He said, man, I got to link y'all up. Y'all got to meet. And I was like, okay, cool. So one day after school, he brought his friend to his house and they came over. Y'all know his name Murder One. He's big in Georgia too. Murder One.
Yeah,
shout out to you, big bro.
Yeah. Hey, we actually ran into him at an indie show we went to a couple of weeks ago where he was at, and he was there. And they actually opened the show up. We actually missed the first match that he was in, but we got to chop it up with him afterwards. But
man, he got to come on here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we talked to him and everything. We're gonna work it out.
Yeah, man, okay. Don't worry. I'll run around the corner. He live around the corner from me now. I'll run around there and tell him to get on it.
That's what's up.
But shout out to him. That's who it was. He came over, and as he's asking me questions about wrestling, we chopping it up back and forth. but I'm bringing up old. So I'm talking about like 70s and 80s wrestling. And he's like, man, for you to know that, like, man, you really do like it. I
Right.
said, yeah, man. You know, I actually grew up watching wrestling with my grandfather. I was a
Okay.
jit. I was little.
Okay.
And
so let me ask you this: was y'all watching NWA? Was y'all watching WWF? What was the main thing that was on the
no,
screen for y'all?
mainly NWA.
Okay.
Mainly
Yeah.
NWA because back then WWF, as it was called then, it was more of a northern thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got NWA because it was nothing for us, especially with my uncles, to go to Cobb County Civic Center and watch
Yeah.
wrestling,
Yeah.
or the Fame, the Omni. You know, like man, I get chills talking about the Omni now. You know,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I met up with Murder One, and he was training. So he was like, "Well, look, why don't you come up to my training one time with me?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Because we by this time we had became cool. Like it was like he was my big brother, I'm his little brother. You know,
Yeah.
and so the first time I went with him, there was a train. His trainer was called Steve the Brawler Lawler. Okay.
Lawler.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
He was the
That's a
trainer,
name
man.
right there. Yeah.
All right.
And look, listen, he played no games in there, man. He was a fair man. He was an honest man. He was a good man, but he didn't play about the business. I came in at the time where wrestling was really good and the brotherhood was solid.
Okay.
You know, I came at the end of that. So I got to see people like him, Steve the Brawler Lawler. And then, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about training too, what happened. But but I got to come around them people, so I got to see how the business was supposed to go, you know. And
Yeah.
that was fun. I got in one time they needed a referee. I got in there, and just from watching it on TV, when I accidentally got hit, I just took the ball. I just fell out. Bah, took the ball, right?
You knew what to do. Yeah.
They got that
Right.
like dangerous Danny Davis.
You know? it's Steve. We call him Dad, but Steve was like, "That's good, brother. That was good. You was right where you need to be." I'm like, okay. And so we kept doing that over a course of weeks, you know, going to his training and stuff. I never got in there after that. I just was watching and stuff. And so then it got to a point where Murder One was fixing to come out and debut. But at that time, I'm trying to think of what his name was. We was in Locust Grove, Georgia. And we was wrestling on a tennis court. What was his name? TC Sledge. That was his name at that time, TC Sledge.
Okay.
But Steve put me in as his manager. So I got to be in, that was really my initial break into the business as a manager.
Okay.
You know? And I'm about to get okay. So one of the spots we had in there where he was Murder was wrestling a guy named TC. Billy the Kid, and he threw him out the ring, and so I just slapped him. That's what I, you know. But you know, it wasn't kayfabe. You know.
Right.
You leaned into it.
Yeah. I forgot to pull that. So you know, that was my initial introduction into wrestling, and that's when I knew that, hey, I want to do something with this, right?
Yeah.
And from that point, hold on, let me pause real quick because I want to go back to when I was talking about training with Steve. Glenn Gilbernetti, Disco Inferno, was up there training with us too.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we trained in the back of a karate place off Roswell Road, right? So everything was homegrown. Like it started right here in our city with my career, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But one day Glenn he just got the call going to WCW. And his head was gassed. I ain't gonna lie, it was gassed, you know. And so he was popping off at the mouth. To this day, I can't remember what he said, but I knew it was something about a color skin people. What he didn't know was Steve had a black nanny. So he took that serious.
Growing up, or that was somebody had one growing up. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
growing up. But she was like really his mom. Like she was really close to. He really appreciated her and thought highly of her.
Right.
And so by Glenn doing this, it set him off, right? And Glenn must have knew it because Steve stopped the training. He said, "Get in here. Let me show you something, brother, before you go. Let me show you something before you go." Glenn was like, "No, I don't want." But that was Steve. Steve had that thing about him. He'd train you, but at the same time, he could shoot on you too if you didn't respect the business. He wouldn't do it to be malice,
Right.
But okay, now back. So that
let
happens.
me cut y'all real quick. That's old school though. That's old school love for the business and don't take no games when somebody comes in there playing around and stuff like that. That's big time. Seemed like you was at right place at right time where you supposed to be. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're right on that, E, because that's when I found out what a shooter was.
Right.
There's some guys who they just thought that they were bigger than the promotion. And when you got to that status, you never knew, but you see the lineup and you go out there and you get in the ring and you wrestling your opponent. And then when you find out he got your leg bent back and your foot on top of your head, you knew you was in some trouble then, right?
That's too hard.
Right.
Yeah, you get stretched,
Let me show you something. Come on in here. Let me show you something, kid.
Yeah, let me show you something, baby. The next thing you know, you hear stuff cracking and stuff. But I got to see that a couple times, so I knew off rip what to do and what not to do.
Right.
Just studying
Now,
while you was up there watching.
Absolutely, because I was just like in awe at the fact that, first of all, being in a ring was a dream,
Yeah.
But to be around these people, because I would watch them on TV. Back then, they was wrestling off Franklin Road at Miss Kitty's.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that thing became big. I saw these people, and now I'm in the room with them. It was wild.
So what year? So you said Murder One was training while you was still in high. So what year is this when y'all are up there and you're the manager?
92.
92. Okay.
92, man.
Yeah, so y'all was in there early.
Yeah, we was. And that led to so much. Like from that, I ended up meeting Mustafa and New Jack.
Okay.
Because the gangsters, right? Because Murder One was with them. He ran with them.
Okay.
And so we went over to Jack, God rest his soul.
Yeah, so 92, this is before ECW then.
Right. At this point, they were just finishing up their stint with North Georgia Wrestling line, heading into Smoky Mountain. Correct.
Going to Smoky Mountain. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Which that was fun too. But so we met up with them, and they ended up dropping. I'm trying to think of the match who they was tagging with. I want to say it was the Gangsters, and I think it was Glenn Gilbernetti, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe they were wrestling the Nasty Critters and Lee Thomas. Don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Okay. Now I do remember Lee Thomas, the old Indy guy.
Do?
Yeah.
Cool brother.
Yeah.
Cool brother. But the deal was they was leaving, so they lost the match. They left, and that's when they was going to Smoky Mountain.
Okay.
And then they came back.
They weren't the gangsters then, bro, right? They weren't the gangsters till they got to Smoky Mountain.
Right. When they was at North Georgia Wrestling Alliance, it was just Mustafa and New Jack.
And New Jack, yeah, because Cornette the one gave him the name.
Right.
They're supposed to be the gangsters, and he changed it to the gangsters. Yeah.
Right. He said that. He's like gangster, and Jack's like, no, not with an ER, with an A. But and so the first time they came to Marietta, they had an entourage. It was, of course, Mustafa and Jack was wrestlers, but we surrounded the ring. Like we would be at the corner ring post. Each ring post would be 4 of us.
Yeah.
And then you had 2 leading down the walkway. And so I became part of the entourage.
Okay.
And that was cool.
Yeah. Now I do remember that on his DVD when he talked about that they would go get, like, he would get people from the neighborhood wherever they was at and get them like come. Yeah. I remember that. I remember him talking about that on the DVD.
Yeah, that first DVD he got out, I think it's called Doing Time. I
Yeah,
think
with
it's
New
called
Jack.
Doing.
Yeah.
Okay, in the opening, when it's the overhead shot in the convertible, that's me and him in the front seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a funny trip too. We went down to Fort Lauderdale in a I didn't know that we could we get sunburn. I didn't know that. Right?
Yeah. That especially down there, that Florida
Yeah.
sun, a little different.
It is very different. By the
Yeah.
time go ahead, y'all. I'm about to go off into something else now.
Go ahead, man. We got
Yeah,
all
you got the
night.
floor, bro.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
we do.
Road story with him. Okay, road story. So that particular time I'm talking about in the beginning of that video, we're going to Fort Lauderdale. He's wrestling for Maximum Pro Wrestling at this
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
And so we got the convertible. We driving down there, man. And then one thing, life on the road is different. This the whole industry is different, but it's wild. So we get down there, and he knows some women down there, right? Some girls that he talked to and dealt with, stuff like that. So when we get down there,
It's
they
okay
have
to
this
say,
whole thing. Huh?
it's okay to say rats on here.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking.
We with the shit
Read.
then, man. Just go ahead and hey,
Yeah, it's
He
land on
said,
the
okay.
"Let it
law,
fly."
bro.
Hey,
Yeah.
let it go. Yeah, he knew some rats down there. It's all good.
Absolutely, man. And they were from Denmark. They were Danish. They're from Denmark.
Oh wow.
And the thing about it, now I'm married to my first wife at this time. She's back in Jacksonville. We lived in Jacksonville, Florida then. But
Oh,
we go there. These women, they want their citizenship here. So they offering 50 grand, 60 grand. Listen, I'm calling my wife. We in Miami now. This was the next day after the match. We in Miami sitting at this little restaurant thing, and we eating with the girl he know and her friend.
Right.
And so I'm talking to her friend, the girl he talking to. I'm talking to her friend, just chatting it up a little bit. And she's like looking sad, and I'm like, "Well, what's going on? What's the matter?" She's like, "I thought I had enough." I'm like, "Enough of what?" She said, "I came over. I got $50,000 and I can't find anybody to marry me so I can stay."
right.
Wow.
Bruh, I was like, hold on one second. Go in the restaurant, hit the bathroom, call my wife. "Hey, babe, look, I know this is going to sound crazy, but can we just get a divorce?"
Real quick.
Real quick. I just need the money, but it ain't you. It
Man,
ain't you.
back then, 50 grand back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
You never
Yeah.
come
So
back on that. Yeah.
it was wild, man. But God, me and him fell out, over some personal stuff. But God rest his soul, man. And I thank him for as far as training. It's Murder One, New Jack, and I had a guy in Florida named CB Kane. He supposedly trained me, but he didn't. He just took my money.
Okay. Yeah, you ain't that's definitely not the first time anybody's heard something like that in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
About guys getting ripped off for their money for getting trained and stuff. Like
Right.
that's
Absolutely.
crazy, man. And then you see, and it opens your eyes up a little bit, because especially when you go to these conventions and stuff, and a lot of these cats are happy to be there, but some of them do not want to be there, but they need that
Yeah.
money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
That's real.
yeah. New Jack's one of our favorites. I got to meet him at WrestleMania weekend when he did his little comedy thing at the comedy he did his comedy thing, and when him and Marlena Terry Reynolds was together still.
Yeah. He was breaking her back in. Yeah.
Right. But you talking about some good, but hey, now you talk about toxic relationship. They was like one of the first ones putting all their business out on Facebook, bro. He was posting pictures of her with her teeth out and stuff, bro.
It was, man, listen.
That joke there is crazy for real.
He was
I was
savage.
just about to tell you that. I just about to and understand. I respect him. I respect him, and I'm thankful for what he done for me and all the knowledge he gave me and places he took me. But I can honestly tell you, I think it was years ago, but me and Murder One was talking, and he was like explaining to somebody because they were asking us how was it around him, not around Jack. And he was like, it's the greatest, worst time of your life. And that is the most accurate analysis
Yeah,
of that.
I can imagine like it'd be some good time, but I know it was some bad times. Yeah.
I mean, horrible.
I
You
gotta
know?
I went to an ECW show one time at the Cobb County Civic Center, and man, back when he used to wear the No Limit shirts and
Mhm.
cut them up and stuff, and he had threw the shirt, and I got the shirt, and I still got it now. And I talked to him on Facebook. I wanted him to sign it, so I was gonna mail it to him, and he ended up dying like right after that. So
Mm.
yeah,
Was
man.
that when he fought Bam Bam Bigelow?
Man, I can't remember, bro. That's so
Okay.
many blunts ago. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Don't even say years no more. There's so many blunts ago. I can't
okay.
remember.
He said, that's in the wind. That's in the wind.
Yeah, you probably barely remember yesterday.
Now it could have been because the Dudley boys were still there, and they almost caused a riot in that place, just like they did everywhere else. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, because the triple threat was still together. You had like Mike Awesome was like brand new, so it was like when they were still going pretty big and going strong. And
Yeah.
yeah, so but yeah, that was one of the crazy shows I ever been to. You know,
It's
I've never
wild with
seen
him.
yeah, man, it was crazy. You know, but I mean it was star studded, it was packed, and they put on a great show. I remember Shane Douglas fought in the main event and ended up hurting his arm again or his elbow, whatever it was. He was always jacking up. And I
Yeah,
mean,
the elbow. Mhm.
he tore the whole curtain down, leaving, going back. He was pissed. He knew he was hurt. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
That was like the greatest. It's really every ECW, every Saturday night in Philly was a party.
Yeah.
It was just a party. You one thing you knew you was gonna get is something crazy and wild. You didn't know what,
Yeah.
and you didn't know to what extent, and you wasn't sure if you was gonna end up back home or in jail, but you knew it was gonna be fun. That you did.
Well, you know that era of wrestling, even though ECW was extreme, hence the name
Yeah,
ECW. However,
right.
that was back even with the WWF and WCW product was a little edgier back then, and part of it was because of ECW. They
Right.
had to step their game up, to capture the audience.
Mhm.
Especially back then, because you talk to these young folks now or these current fans now, and we could talk about the Attitude Era, but a lot of them was the kids back then, or barely remember. All they can see is watch the WWE Network or something, and watch that stuff that happened back then. But it was totally different ball game back then.
Oh
Like
yeah. And
totally,
and
totally
that's
different.
why that's everybody's go-to when you ask anybody that's in their late 30s, early 40s. Everybody loves the Attitude Era. That's my
Right.
favorite era. And now it's starting to, you're starting to see a little bit more now and recognize the Attitude Era more than you ever have in the last 15 years.
Right.
The way the business is going right now. You still watch? Are you still an avid watcher?
You know what? Well, let me say, not of WWE. I try to stay on AEW.
Okay.
And I think that's because to me AEW gives me a mixture of what indie wrestling is plus a little ECW.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you've been a manager, you get trained. When would tell us about your first match, the first time you
Right.
ever locked up in the ring, not took a bump, but actually locked up and
Like
was a
how
part
long
of a
did you
match.
train before you had that first match?
Yeah. So training took about a year and a half to actually
Okay.
be legit in the ring on your own, not worry about hurting yourself.
Okay.
Like and know what you're doing. But the first time I was in the ring, I actually was so nervous that I think I did maybe one or two moves, and I got out the ring and walked away. That was, and I got cussed out in the back. I
I'm
got cussed
sure.
out in the back. but after that, so at this time it's early 2000s now.
Okay.
It's
Right.
early 2000s, and so we go down to Jacksonville, and we're working. It's a tag team called VNB. They were called VNB, Very Nasty Boys, or Violent Nasty Boys, or something they were going by. And basically, it was being set up to where you had, because we being Gangsta Nation, we were kind of like a subsidiary of the gangsters or feed off of the gang. You know what I mean?
like a
Like we came,
spin-off.
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
spin. We came from that tree, so we branched off from that. And
Okay.
the VMB were the rebel flag wearing,
Okay.
trailer. Henceforth, his name is Trailer Park Trash, Johnny Lee. But
Okay.
we were trying to get it set up to where you had us, Gangsta Nation, versus them, like the VMB.
Right.
But at the time, we was wrestling for a promoter who wanted the limelight to himself,
Mm.
and so that didn't it didn't go over like we wanted it to, and we got tired of working for him because we one thing we found out was we was getting slighted on our pay.
Mm.
Okay.
All right, that's a no go. That's a no go in the business, right? There's no paying off the door. You don't do that, right? But we're pretty much new in his promotion, so we not ready to cause any ruckus or anything like that. But what we did do, we said, okay, listen, if we stay here with him, Thunder Wrestling Federation, that's the name of it. If we stay here with him, we're gonna be stagnant. We're
Mm.
not gonna be able to advance and do anything. And so, matter of fact, I was supposed to send him the link. My partner wanted to come in, but E-Dog and I was like, okay, listen, let's just go out on the road. Let's get our own bookings away from here. Let's go out here to new promotions. Let's just test the water.
Mm.
And so it ended up happening where we would debut at a promotion. And after that first match, by the time we get to the back, they're like, hey, next show you're booked.
Okay.
And you're fighting for the tag team titles. And so after that, we just took off. It launched the rocket, you know. And that was just fun times, man. It was just fun times. Even when we get done, I wish we could still have the promos. You might be able to find them on YouTube. But
Mm.
like we would always shout out Mustafa and Jack back then, so people
Yeah.
could know that's where we came from, you know.
Okay.
But I would call them. I'm like, look, hey, this is what's going on, and we did this. And prime example, we had a hardcore match, and what was that? GWF, Georgia Wrestling Federation.
Mm.
This is up in Tryon. I don't know if you
Mhm.
know where that is.
I ain't never even
Okay.
heard of that.
It's right outside of. It's like the last town in Georgia before you cross over to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
And so we had a hardcore matchup. Now, this one boy, his name was Kamikaze or something like that. I'm like you, I can't remember. It was long ago. But in the match, I hit him with this light bulb, the light tube thing.
Mm.
Mm.
But it wasn't tapped. The ball wasn't tapped. So when I hit him, it exploded. Gas went everywhere. His back looked like pulled pork. This is actually on YouTube, what I'm telling you. But
Okay.
his back was bleeding like pulled pork, right? They done called the police on us and everything. We had 2 more matches to go. Shut the whole show down. No lie, watch it. They running out the locker room, quick, call 911. I mean, he was bleeding bad, right? So
Yeah.
after that, on the way, I'm calling Jack. I'm like, man, this is what happened, man. And he was bleeding. And man, I missed. This dude was like, man, I don't give a fuck if he bleeding. What the fuck you stop hitting him for? I was like, but he was injured, like he was bleeding
Right.
bad.
Right.
Right.
But to your point, and I bring that up because when I say this man is crazy, but he's a great teacher. He's a great trainer. That's where I'm talking. This is where it all come from. When you setting the guy on fire on YouTube, that's him. I get that from him.
Jack like John Kreese, no mercy.
Right.
None. Man, I'm telling you, he'll be cool. He'll be funny, and the next thing you know, just like that, he'll flip, and it'll be. I mean, you just don't want to be around him no more.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, we can see, I mean, even he said it about all the drugs and everything that he was doing. So it's not like we talking about something we don't know about or talking bad about him. I mean, that's common knowledge if you're a wrestling fan to keep up with that stuff. So, you
But
know,
I love
and
it. I love it.
yeah, yeah. And I can definitely dig that because like you said, y'all fell out, but you paid homage to him damn near as soon as you got on here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? The man ain't even here no more. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it ain't like you gonna hear it. You know what I mean? So you didn't have to say that. You could have said whatever you wanted to. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
Well,
So
tell us
big ups to you.
tell us
Thank
this,
you.
Smooth.
Mhm.
Working in indies. Okay, you mentioned that they say, hey, y'all, we're gonna give y'all a title shot for the tag
Mhm.
titles. What did it feel like? Because we know it's a work. However, when they say, hey, we're gonna put the titles on you, even in the indie promotion, what was that like?
I can honestly tell you, man, it's the highest of the high.
Okay.
Especially given the first one, especially that one, because like I told you, we just had stepped out on because we was working for that promoter in Florida, and he, like I said, he wanted the limelight, so he
Right.
had us thinking we wasn't good enough, even though we've been through the training, even though we knew we were good. He had us second guessing ourselves,
Right.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And so we had to go out on our own, and then when we done that and we won the tag team, man, I'm talking about. The next day, I was at the pool with the kids with the belt head bandaged up, and it was like being on a Crockett promotion or something.
It's real to me, damn it.
It's
Well,
real, man.
Yeah,
You
but,
know?
but, but that shit, it's like getting a promotion at work.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
like getting a promotion at work. If the promoter comes to you and said, we're gonna put the belts on you. Well, obviously they think people are gonna either watch you beat up somebody or watch you just barely beat them by the skin of your teeth, or always having to cheat and the crowd's gonna go crazy, all that stuff. So that just means they believe in you. You know, it's like getting a promotion at the job. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. You're exactly right. And the thing about it with us, because we grew up watching it, you get to a point where you live that gimmick. It on in wrestling, like during
Yeah.
the
Right,
show,
right.
your alter ego becomes a thing. It's not just
It
you.
takes over. Yeah.
It takes over. Exactly. You know, that's
Absolutely.
one of my that's one of my niches on how I can do the promos in one thing, because I put my mind in an actual real scenario of this is going on. This is life,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
it just come out.
Well, that's
So
big,
yeah.
man. Yeah. That's what's up. And to piggyback on what PO just said, and even in the indies, like it ain't like they not trying to get their promotion over and not trying to get more people in there. They care about the attendance. That's how you make the money. That's how you pay the boys. You know, so
Hmm.
there's so yeah, man, that's what's up.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
another question. So I'm
Hmm.
assuming because Gangster Nations, y'all basically y'all young Sheldon to a Big Bang Theory here. So
Yeah.
y'all Gangster Nation. So sound like y'all was super duper heels, right? Now,
Hmm.
did you ever work as a baby face, or was you always a heel? And then if you worked as both, which one did you like working as the best?
Okay. Well, and good question. Good question. First of all, the name Gangsta Nation was actually created by our manager, who is Big Boy from Outkast, his big brother. Name
Oh wow,
Phenom.com was his ring name, but his real name is Mark.
wow.
But
Oh,
so,
damn.
but that's how that came together, and so he would get our bookings and stuff like that. But so we started off as heels, but the
Okay,
thing about it, the stuff that we did in the ring, the unforgivingness, the violence, the I don't give a fuck attitude, like even though we was billed as heels, the fans loved that raw in your face action,
Right.
absolutely.
you know. And so then I guess you would say we were babies, but at that time we did what we wanted to do. We cuss a fan out before going in the ring, and that same fan would be cheering. Like it's so. But I have worked baby before too, and so to answer your question, little brother, to be honest, let me put it to you this way: working heel is easier.
Hey, we hear
Working
that.
baby, you make the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's
So
always easy to make somebody hate you, but it's hard to make them like you.
it's hard to make them like you. So when they do, and then too, when you being a face, you get to push your merch. You make more money.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Because you get to do
So
the meet and greets and all that stuff afterwards.
exactly, and you're
Yeah.
not breaking kayfabe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's. I ain't
Yeah.
never even thought about that.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's it's all fun if you love the industry, but it's just there's certain things that, like I say, being heel, you get to go out there, you get to push the envelope, you get to really, you know,
You probably have
just
more
be
fun. Yeah.
have fun. There you go, brother. The handcuffs is off. You get to have fun. You get to be free.
Right.
Okay.
And
But then
baby,
maybe
the money good.
get to sell his pictures and everything after the show.
Yeah, get the politic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up. I can see, like, of course, I'm the heel of the show. You know what I'm saying? PO is the face, I'm the heel. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
Yeah, so yeah, I dig it though. But you was actually y'all was facing that show we came to see out there
So yeah, they was out in
in Douglasville.
Douglasville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Me and my tag team partner was just talking about that earlier today when I was telling him about the podcast tonight.
Oh, okay.
Right, they bought us in his face,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
but we
because we was sending you Facebook messages like shit, like push one of us down when you come to the ring or something. You know what I'm saying? Do something. You know what I'm saying? Because
We
and
gotta get
I'm like,
involved.
we'll
We
sell
out
that
there.
shit. Hey, I told him, I said, bro, when you come to the ring, I said, push me down or something.
We
He
were
was like,
having
I
yeah,
got you.
Scott the
that's
Man Prater and Terry
right.
Floyd, all that.
That's
We were trying.
that's what he said. He was like, no, I can't do that. They bringing us here as his faces. I was like, oh shit. You
Yeah,
know
mess up the whole jokes.
Yeah.
Great
we
times
was
though. Great brothers, man. Great
yeah.
brothers. You know.
Yeah, that was a fun little
Yeah.
spot to go to. We used to go up there every once in a while and check them out, man. And again, that's one of the reasons why we got you on now, because we wanted to be, of course, we're gonna talk about WWE and AEW and New Japan, but we wanted to put a spotlight on the indie shows and the
Absolutely.
indie just around in Georgia, and that's people that former wrestlers and guys that are doing it now. We want to spotlight the indie guys. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's doing that, and
They're not.
we're just not doing it because nobody else is doing it. We're doing it because we love wrestling, and we
Right.
into plenty of those shows, and we know what these guys are getting paid, what they're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So, man, a little spotlight never hurt nobody.
It doesn't, and I appreciate that because the thing about it, and I've told people this on several occasions. To me, yeah, you got the AEWs, you got the WWE, you got the TNAs and all, and Ring of Honor. They make the money. And they got all the glitz and the glamours and stuff like that. But the heartbeat of pro wrestling comes from the indie circuit, because without that,
Absolutely.
you have nothing. Right?
There's no future without it.
Right.
That's where
Exactly.
the future guys come from. Well, used to anyway. Now they got them in but it's still, they like AEW. You got more of a chance of being an indie guy going to AEW than you do to WWE, because you go to WWE, they're gonna send you straight to the performance center. You're gonna train down there and do it the way they want you to do it, not the way you've been doing it.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I like it.
But
it's
shout out to
going to the
WWE.
military. Where they strip you down.
Yeah.
And
Rebuild
you.
Yeah.
Their way. Yeah.
And you don't want to say brainwashed, but this is the way we do it. And
Right.
and if you want to be here, this is the way you're gonna do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
and that's the thing about it though. And I again, that's why I think I like AEW more, because it's more of it's raw, it's gutter. Don't get me wrong, they still got the production thing to it, but Tony Khan is more, to me, He's more of a wrestling fan and allows creativity to come out, and that caters to the performer or to the wrestler.
Right.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
They, he ain't got a ton of writers over there like they do in WWE. And, and I was where you was at, but I got to tell you, to me, WWE been so good for the last couple of years. Like, it's been the best as good as it's ever been, especially now. Like, right,
Yeah.
man, it's, but it's so much wrestling to watch now anyway. You can't watch everything if you wanted to.
Right.
You couldn't
That
watch
is
it
true.
live. Not if you got a family or half-ass have a life. You know what I'm saying? It's much every night of the week.
But you're right though. As far as with WWE, and I have to contribute as far as it being better. This is my perspective. I honestly think that's because Tripp took over. Tripp knows the business.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This game.
This the Paul Levesque era.
Yeah. I'm for it. It takes me back to if y'all, and I know you guys do in the 90s, where we had Raw and Nitro, and then you had Thunder and SmackDown, and we had good wrestling all week.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's trying to get back to that right now.
It's getting there. I mean, to tell you you talk about like back in the day, man, before anybody had TiVo and you sitting there waiting for the commercial to come on, or if no disrespect, but if the girls came out and wrestled, you'll turn it to try to see what's going on Raw or Nitro and going back and forth. And then you find out the good thing about the Nitro used to play it right afterwards. The replay would come right.
Right.
Yeah. So you was like, if you missed anything, you be like, it's gonna come back on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
that's true.
Yeah, but that, those were the days, dog. You sit there and just, man, you didn't know who was gonna show up. It wasn't no internet. You know what I'm saying? And if it was, we wasn't nobody on it like that to figure out who done been released and whose contracts up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Them jokers just show up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And the only way you would, any information you pretty much got, you had to call the hotline and talk to Joe Pedicino. That's the only way.
Or you get those pro wrestling, those Dave Meltzer magazines.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it.
I used to go to the grocery store with my mom and she out there shopping and I go to the magazine rack.
I'm good. Yeah. PWI, boy.
PWI,
Bro,
good times, man.
Bro, do you know how much trouble I got into calling 1-900-909-9900?
I got to know what's going on.
I called it last night, Smooth. You hear?
Right. Hey, and it's just like your parents tell you, why you telling your kids now, why you keep doing the same thing, get the same result. I'm thinking eventually somebody gonna answer for real.
You thought he gonna talk this thing.
Yeah. Oh, bro. Hey, out of pros. But there was always a recording. And I'm just listening. They talking slow. You know what I'm saying? They charging you about a minute.
Exactly.
I think I'm getting all the inside news. Ain't none of that stuff happening. It ain't nobody on there. They used to be in the pay-per-view. Yeah. I spent my $15.
So it didn't even happen. Yeah, man. Good times, man.
You keep doing it till you get the phone bill. Next thing you know, why the phone don't work?
It was all a work. Man, boy, you brought up some memories with that, man. That used to be fun.
Well, let me ask you this. So, was there ever any interest in you in going anywhere big, or was there ever any kind of anything that was leading to something, or to where you go into the top couple of promotions, or were you just strictly just indie guy and just living it out on the indie scene?
Well, to be honest, you got to remember, I didn't even think I would be in this business, period. So to me, anything I've done or made it was big to me. But I can honestly say that being able to work Rock and Roll Express,
wow,
that was great. That was great. You know,
Where
that
was that
feud
at?
was great. We feuded with them, the gangsters in Smoky Mountain, the gangsters in Rock and Roll Express. And
Oh,
in
okay.
fact, when I told you I came out with them at Cobb County Civic Center,
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Express was the opponents. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was cool. And to see that whole thing play out, even to where we were in the hotel and they came and jumped us in the hotel and stuff like that. All of that was fun. So to be in the ring with guys I actually watched on TV, that was my big thing. Like I never thought about going WWF, WWE, or anything like that. No, I didn't. I didn't. It was
Yeah.
more of in the moment thing.
Yeah.
But
I would have been like them and Ready to Rumble. Crown me!
Right.
Crown me champion!
Do me, do me.
well, as time went on, though, as time went on, I learned that those are some places you don't want to go because what happens, anything you've created for yourself, any name you've made for yourself, the career you
Ain't
carved out
gonna
for yourself,
Yeah.
right? They gonna strip it, and so you
Yeah,
back down to nothing.
Yeah,
right.
but well, if you think about it though, in when you was talking about early 2000s, it's no ECW, it's no WCW, all that's dead. It ain't nothing but WWE. And you
Right.
had
That's it.
TNA, real small over there in that's when they was in Nashville and
Then
you
that
know you
Ring of Honor
Ring
kind
of
of
Honor,
came
but Ring of
along.
Honor was from
They were up
Philly all
north.
the way to New York. That was all up
Yeah,
That
they were
north.
up north.
that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
but they was, you know,
yeah.
Right. So the indies was more convenient. It was to me. I had more fun, more leeway to do what you want to do.
Mhm.
Um, So yeah, I never thought about it. Like I said, that being in the ring with people like that, sharing a locker room with Mr. Wrestling number 2, um,
mm,
uh, Thunderbolt Patterson,
wow.
people like that. Like, so what I tell people, even today, when there's greenhorn, we call them greenhorns, they're new in the business. But even I tell them, listen, when it comes to measuring your success in the industry, you got to be your own ruler. You understand? You cannot look at somebody else's career and say, "Hey, I fell short of this, or I should have did." You can, because your career is your career. That's your path. Like for me, I didn't think pro wrestling was gonna ever happen. I was used to beating up pillows on the bed when I was little. Never thought this. You know,
I was
so
undefeated for years in my bedroom with pillows.
right, just beating them up. And like buying toy belts and stuff from Toys R
Yeah,
Us, stuff like that was the epitome of it. But so when you go to it and you win, like I said, for me, I'm 11-time tag team champion, 2-time world tag team champion to the promotion. So even though it wasn't a WWE type career or anything like that, when I started out, a lot of people said I wasn't gonna make it.
mhm,
You understand? And
yeah,
so, like I say, 11-time tag team champion, 1-time heavyweight champion, ranked 75 in 2008, ranked number 75 out of the top 300 indie wrestlers. I'll take it. I'll take
Hell
it.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, I never thought about going any further. That's kind of just where the wind blow or whatever opportunity come up. That's what I go to if it's
Right,
good.
right. So so how long were you in the business?
26 years.
Damn.
Damn.
Okay.
26 years. So, and the thing about it was I've had a lot of injuries too from it.
Yeah.
So you had to take some time off, concussions, fractured back. The fractured back one is documented on YouTube as well. We was doing a closing out a show, GXW, Georgia Extreme Wrestling Promotion, up in Rossville,
Mm.
and ended up going through a flaming table onto the concrete.
Damn.
And I don't know what happened, but however I landed, it fractured my back. So at the end of the video, you'll see me putting my hands up, and it's looking like I'm throwing gang signs or something. But understand, I'm involuntarily doing that. I have no control over that. Whatever
Oh,
when I fracture my back, it messed me up.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
So, but yeah, 20. I'm paying for it now, though.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I feel you on that. So when was your last match?
Last match was for Champ 7 Pro Wrestling. They were based out of Jacksonville, Florida. They still are running. But we wrestled at Dory Funk Jr.'s place.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
And we've had issues. It wasn't a promote. Shout out to you, Thunderbolt Hamilton. I love you, Uncle Larry. But he had some men around him that, to me, they didn't do nothing in the business, but they thought they knew everything in the business. In fact, I told him, I'm like, Uncle Larry, you got a lot of yes men around, you know? And so you need to get rid of that. Now, and not being disrespectful. Here's the thing. With Uncle Larry, with Thunderbolt Hamilton, I've seen him run a program or run his promotion, and I actually saw it on BET when I lived in Jacksonville. So I knew what he was saying was true. I knew what he could do and his capabilities. I knew that. I knew that because when I was younger, I was watching him on Continental Championship Wrestling, fighting the Freebirds, fighting Tom Pritchard, Bullet Bob Armstrong. So I knew of him and I knew what he was capable of. So when I came into his promotion, believing it, I'm like this, man. I'm loyal. So if you cool and I'm buying into what you're doing, I'm gonna give my all, right? And so we was doing that, but he had this yes men run. They didn't like us at that time. I had a tag partner by the name of Sea Dog Collins, but and they named us. What did they give us? We couldn't take it. The Bomb Squad. That's what they called us. The Bomb Squad. And so we were the tag champs, but when we was wrestling there, we were going against a tag team that were new in the business, but they lived in Jacksonville, so they spent more time training and stuff like that with them. Well, when we would come from Georgia, it was, to our understanding, we were supposed to work heel. We were the heels, but all the while they was telling them to work heel, and I'm like, okay, so if we was told if they were supposed to be heel and we work babies, then I would have switched it like that. But if we both going heel, it ain't making no sense, you know?
Right.
And so one of the yes men went to, and it was crazy, man, because the crowd was hot. Even Dory Funk Jr. And his wife was like, I love the match. Like, what are you talking about? But anyways, the yes man went and told Thunderbolt Hamilton that, hey, we need to cut the match. It ain't good. We just need to take it home. And so I went in the back. I threw the tag title on the table. I grabbed my bag. I didn't even take my gear off. I just grabbed my bag and left. And then on the way back home up here, he called and he was like, hey, listen, why don't you come back down and then I'll pay you an extra $100. And then I'm like, nah, listen, I told you before. I was at my grandson's practice over here at Marietta Youth Football. I'm at practice and I'm on the phone with him. And I'm like, Uncle Larry, you got too many yes men around, right? I would give him, so like I knew somebody who done like the production thing, and I'm like, hey, bring him in. He lives right there in Jacksonville. Bring him in, and let's make our product look more enhanced. Because at this time, it looks like an 80 porno flick, right? The shit wasn't working, man. And so he would make up an excuse not to do that. So then we had a guy by the name of Lazarus, and he had him built as a 7-foot giant. He's not, but so I'm like, okay, Uncle Larry, why don't we do this? Why don't we take the Roman camera, have him on the side of the ramp, so that way when Lazarus is walking to the ring, he shoots at an upward angle, therefore giving the illusion, right, that he's been, well, what was it? What did he say we was on? Spectrum? Whatever the cable station we was on. He was like, well, they said that the ceiling don't look good in the building. We couldn't. I'm like, what the? So it was just not working. That was my last match, 2018.
Okay.
2018. That was my last match down there.
Yeah. And so that was your last match, period.
Period. Yeah, that was it. I walked away from it. Now, I will say, and you guys got to check it out, GEW. Georgia Extreme Wrestling. They're in Powder Springs now. It wasn't Austell, but they're in Powder Springs now. My boys run it. You want to see some damn good wrestling? That's where you want to go. It's at the American Legion.
How often do they have shows?
Once a month.
Okay. Yeah, we there then. Yeah.
Let me know when y'all going so I can meet you.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely hook that up and check it out. Because, like I said, we want to shine spotlight on indie wrestling in Georgia. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's gonna be one of our things. That's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna try to do it about maybe like once a month, and you know, go to different shows and shout them out, and you know, tell them where they can find them and stuff, and have a couple of guys on, like your boy Murder One. We want to have him on, and you
Yeah,
know,
love
things
it.
that
Love
nature.
it.
Coming soon, we're gonna have Scott Prater and his son
I remember
on the
Scott.
Yeah, yeah. So
Man.
I gotta ask this. I gotta ask this. Tell me the most starstruck you've been and seeing, because we know you went in the indie promotion. We know there's always a headliner that they try to bring in, somebody old school that can sell a couple of tickets.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, you talked about the Rock and Roll Express, and I've had
Oh
a
my
chance
God.
to meet them a couple of times, and I mean to tell you, like, they still act like it's just the 80s, like it's just cool to talk to everybody, and they're just so cool, and you
They
know,
are.
yeah, and I think them and Tuco Scorpio and Bill Alfonso might be the coolest wrestler guys I've ever met. You
Oh
know,
yeah, them two
are
guys was
just humble and cool, and you know what I'm saying, because you know, let's just be honest, but wrestler fans are weird. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I'll stop you when you're wrong.
Let's be real. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially Marks out here, but they'll ruin it for you if you're trying to meet somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've been to
Has
some of
happened.
the, bro, I've been to some of the conventions, and you just hear some of the stupidest stuff you've ever heard come out of people's mouths and stuff.
Well,
And the wrestlers, they don't want to talk to nobody after talking to these guys. You know what I'm saying? They think everybody's like that. You know?
right.
they do. You and see that's the man. It take Chris Hamrick. Chris Hamrick talked about it too. But to your point, there was an incident where after the show, we was at a nightclub. I mean, like a little bar, a little, something like that. And one of the dudes there was with his people, his homies, and I don't know if he had too much to drink or what, but for whatever the reason, he was saying that Jack wasn't strong. He's like, and like we said, he's a character. So he was like, "Yeah, you're right, brother. You're right, man. I can't fight. I can't fight. All these tattoos that's just for show. Please don't mess with me. I can't fight. I don't want nobody to know that I can't fight." And so the dude goes back to the table with his buddies and homeboys, and I done punk Jack. I done punk.
Oh
Man,
man.
this is where I knew the night was gonna take a turn for the worse. But as you get ready to leave, Jack goes to the table. Sir, excuse me. I'm about to walk to my car. Could you please not follow me outside to my car? Because I don't know how to fight. And why did he do that for? Well, I know why he did that for. Because
Right.
he
You know
hyped the
exactly.
dude up.
Right.
I
Because
know exactly why.
he knew the dude wanted to show off in front of his buddies that he could beat the wrestler up, and wrestling's fake and wrestling this and that. And what the
Yeah.
problem was is probably his girlfriend probably loved wrestling and loved the guys and loved everything about it. And he probably hated it because he was
Well,
insecure.
I bet when they woke him up in that parking lot, he knew not to do it again. One punch. One fucking punch.
And
It was beautiful though.
he lucky with New Jack's resume. He lucky that's all he got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a
Yeah.
fact. Absolutely.
Had a
And I want
bad
to poke a
wounds
hole
and
or
all,
two in
you know.
somebody now.
Yeah.
Hey, he caught him on a good night.
Right.
Right.
He had to. Damn lucky
That's the
that
only way it
guy.
worked. That's
Damn
the only
lucky
dude.
that fella.
Yeah, somebody was praying for him that night.
Right. But starstruck though,
Starstruck. Okay.
what's the time that you've been the most starstruck when you've been in that locker room in the back?
Okay, I'm gonna get here's a couple of them. All right, so there's a few. The first one didn't go so well. So the show I was telling you guys about in Locust Grove, and
Mm.
Tommy Wildfire Rich was on the card, and
Mhm.
I'm talking about I had my little pencil, my little pad ready. I just was ready. Wildfire, Tommy Rich gonna be here. Man, the Georgia bloodbath, him and Buzz Sawyer. Like, why can't I believe I'm gonna be in the same room with, man, he walked in and I was like, that's him? That ain't what I seen on TV. I mean, he wasn't even a sparkler at that time, right? But okay, understand, I'm new.
Yeah, now because back then, even early back then, he was already starting to walk hunched over and stuff like that.
He did, yeah, he did, and I didn't know. By this being my first show in a pro wrestling setting, like being the back, I wasn't privy to knowing about the drugs and the alcohol and stuff like that.
Right,
So
okay.
when he came in, I didn't know that was his lifestyle. I only saw what I saw on Georgia Championship Wrestling, NWA.
Right.
You know,
right.
But I would soon learn that there's backstage politics and there's stuff that goes along with it that what you see on TV is just one side of it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was the one time it went wrong. Of course, I've told you about Rock and Roll Express. I couldn't even punch them. It was like you know how you have a dream and you fighting in your dream and you can't swing. Your arms be just yeah.
I would have give me the double drop kick. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Well, we only got to stump them and stuff like that, but just to be, and I didn't even. I was just in awe from watching. So it was hard to even, like, yo, I'm here in this moment in my home, in my hometown. Like, what? So I marked out.
I can imagine how cool they are to the fans. So I can only imagine how cool they were to a worker, especially new guys that were trying to, because Ricky got a school, you know what I'm saying? So he already used to training guys and stuff like that. And Robert might be the one of the coolest people ever.
He is.
Yeah, man. So like, and they really take the time out. And see, that's what's cool, man, about when you go to these different places. They really take the time out to talk to you and stuff like that. Because I've lost my train of thought. They
you said they talk to you.
Yeah, they they take the time to recognize that without the fans, there is no wrestling business. And some people forget that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people forget that. So, but yeah, Rock and Roll Express, man. I used to wear my hair in elementary school just like Ricky Morton.
Man, he's cool, man. Look, he spend about 30 minutes before he go out there brushing his hair. I'm like, bro, it can't get no more feathery. Like it's
right.
there. It's there.
Still now got the ultimate mullet. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Those guys, that was definitely a mark out moment for me. Mr. Wrestling number 2. I would have to say he would be. If I have a 1A, I can have a 1A and a 1B. Mr. Wrestling number 2, meeting him and shaking his hand and just sitting there talking to him and just picking his brain. That's 1A for me. 1B would be Tony Atlas.
Oh wow, yeah, that's big.
Man, I couldn't. And he's cool, man. He's really cool. He's a good artist. He draws really well. And so we did one of this was my trying to think where was this. About a year before I retired, maybe about a year and a half. But we wrestled over here in the Epicenter off by Six Flags, and he was there. I'm mad at myself because I was there with Cowboy Bob Orton. Me and him was talking in the back, and in the moment, I just didn't think about, hey man, I need to get a picture with him. I need to. It was wild. Now, Road Warrior Animal was there.
Oh my God.
Come on, the same show by Six Flags?
Yeah. It was called Stranglehold Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
Wow.
And, I mean, the dude spent money for all of these people to come in, but I'm mad at myself because in my mind, I'm like, okay, hey, I see them on the road, down the road somewhere. Yeah. So I get it then, but that didn't happen. So, but those would be my 3 most mark out moments right there where I was just in awe.
Wow. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, man, the Tony Atlas thing is cool. Definitely like seeing the Road Warriors. I can just imagine like seeing them over there putting their paint on and stuff, or Road Warrior Animal rather putting their paint on and stuff. Yeah, man. Definitely.
Well, the thing about that E2, yeah, it was also. I mean, he had some guys. He was, and I can't remember their name, but they were like the new age Road Warriors, I guess you could say. Kind of, they had the shoulder pads and stuff, and he was managing them. But the thing about that was, he passed away not too long after that.
Oh
So it was
wow.
like, man, should have did it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man,
that's it, man.
that's what's up, man. That's big time, man. Like it seemed like you definitely had a long career for sure.
Right.
And you're still here to talk about it. I can, like I said, I can only imagine some of the stuff you've seen and heard and done. We'll have to talk about some of that stuff
Ooh,
off
yeah, off
camera.
record. Yeah,
When
that's why I was looking at you with the wide eyes. Ooh,
yeah,
we'll talk about that.
we don't want to incriminate you or nobody.
Yeah, because it's one that I know. Let's just. I'm gonna put it this way. Hanging out in the back of the TV taping up in Calhoun, Georgia, with Marty Jannetty in the
Oh man.
that was.
Oh wow.
No, I've never been so high in my life. But just know, that it was cool. It was cool. Oh my God,
Daryl
man, that was
popping
cool.
with the rockers.
Yeah, man. He still
Psycho.
talked like that. He still
Yeah.
talked like that, man. And it's funny. It's funny because it's like these are people. AWA, we watched them. WWF, we watched them, and it's
Right.
like, man, he's just ordinary people.
And he wasn't no punk either. He was good, man. He was a good worker.
Yeah,
You know,
he didn't.
really
He was underrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And them,
Well, y'all got me crying and laughing, boy.
them ankles, boy. You talking about a nasty story. Them ankles is all jacked up. Because if you follow him on Facebook, like he's not active right now, but when he is, bro, that's like a show in itself. That dude he little off himself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I seen him in the wheel. The last time I saw he was in a wheelchair, but I didn't know what it was for.
Yeah, it's got to be
You
them
know?
ankles because I know he's been trying to get his ankles fixed for years. Like like that's why he can't really do anything.
Oh
'cause
man.
he would post all the pictures and stuff afterwards, and I mean, bro, it's like nothing you ever seen before. It's like he got the Elephant Man ankles.
Ooh, man. I gotta send y'all the picture, boy, of me and him in the back.
Yeah,
We was geek.
I
You can
could
tell in the
imagine
picture we geek.
Yeah, I know y'all had a good time.
A fucking blast.
Right. Well, let's switch it up for a minute and talk about what you got going on now. And
Okay.
you got I don't know if you call your show a podcast or you call it just a show or whatever. You talk about what you got going on right now.
Okay, so now what I'm doing it's a TikTok live podcast. It's called hashtag I'm gonna say it. The reason I originally came up with that is because there were some people who had issues that were going on at our old high school.
Okay.
And the position that they're in, they couldn't really express how they felt. Okay. And so I was like, well, shit, I'll say it. And they was like, well, okay, well, not yet. I'll let you know it. And so then when they would come and tell me, I would say it. And even with this past situation, as far as with the coach, I'm sure y'all all seen that and heard about that. But that's just me. So I was like, you know what? I am that person. I'm gonna say what's on my mind. I'm gonna say it. Yeah. And it's it's just that's what it is. I'd rather be real and honest with you than try to sugarcoat it and protect your feelings. I'm just gonna say it. Right? Yeah. You get more respect that way. So I was like, you know what? Hashtag I'm gonna say it. Hashtag I'm gonna say it. And so when I was able to start going live, I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to do? What am I gonna say? What am I getting at? And so then I started out with saying, okay, well, I'll take celebrity news that's going on and I'll speak on that. I'm gonna say things that people are afraid to say about it. Okay. Right. As that progressed and I started getting a following doing that, I started getting people that had real life issues like being victim of domestic violence. I've had one lady who lost her faith in God and stuff like that. I had another one, shout out to her. She lives in North Carolina, but she was addicted to drugs. But because of what I said in my live that she was in, She ended. Matter of fact, the live was about my kid's mother. I'll just go ahead and it's my kid's mother. She passed away from being an alcoholic. All right, and
Okay.
I was talking about her on the show. And so when I did that, that same lady was in on that live. She immediately went and checked herself in the rehab
Oh
and
wow.
got clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it's for. It's really just trying to make a difference, brother, man. Any way I can make a difference.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wild out sometimes on it, but for the most part, it's just trying to make a difference, man. And if anybody got any problem, it's a judgment free platform.
Mhm.
Just want to help. And that's it. That's what it's about. I
Yeah.
got my own merch too now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we'll definitely when we'll release this on we release our shows on Mondays. So while we're recording, we'll release it on Monday and we'll put your the link and everything on YouTube. You know,
I
so
appreciate it.
yeah, man, definitely. We appreciate you coming on. You've actually you've been you've been in the spotlight here lately about different stuff and stuff going on and with the Marietta football situation and with the coaches and stuff and we all me and Larry both former players and we grew up in Marietta. We only went to 3 schools. Went to our elementary school, the Marietta Middle School / it was junior high when we was there.
Junior high, yeah.
They changed it to Marietta Middle School our 8th grade year.
That makes no sense.
Right. Then we went to of course we went to Marietta High. We were our 11th grade years, the first year that Coach Friday was the head coach. So we had a historical little journey as far as so we take it pretty serious, you know what I mean? So when it's talked about, people listen, you know what I mean? And Marietta sure ain't been the same. It's it's definitely different, different atmosphere and
Right.
so
Right. In fact, that's why I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's where I met POT at. we was PE class at Coach Hood.
So what years did you go to Marietta High School?
93, 94, 95. I graduated 95. We was there together. All of us was there together.
Yeah. Because Larry remember you from, man, I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. Like,
listen,
there's plenty of times we be around, bro. This, man. Yeah, man. Nah, who was that? So but y'all actually had a class together. We didn't ever have no class together.
Right.
You know
right. And see,
like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you didn't play football, right? Because I don't think you played football with us.
I started out, but then ended up going to wrestling.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you wrestled in Marietta. Okay. What did you play? Like
No. I got the pro wrestling card. That's when things took off.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So okay, that's what you're talking about, the pro wrestling. Okay. So you ain't okay. So when did you play?
I was starting in the summer, but then when they did the workouts, I just stopped because I got the call to go do wrestling. So never materialized into anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay. Yeah.
Would you class 94 or 95?
95.
Okay. Yeah.
95. So I graduated
2 years before us. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all. It was trying to think. I think y'all was with Kareem Young and
yeah.
Travis and them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember y'all.
And so, but you went to Osborne and Campbell. So
I was enrolled at Osborne.
Okay. So
I was enrolled at Osborne.
Yeah, you count his favorite son. That was
yeah. But back then, okay. So I started off at Campbell, and I loved Campbell. Campbell was cool, but then at the beginning of my sophomore year, I didn't like it no more, and I lived in Osborne District already. So I was like, just transfer me to Osborne, right? Well, got to Osborne, didn't like nobody over there. So I would show up because my house was walking distance. So I would show back then we had 8 periods. So I would just go to 8th period because it was PE.
Yeah.
And then I walk back home. During the day I had snuck girls over and my mom was at work and
Yeah.
And then
we all been
I didn't like Marietta when I first got there neither though. To be honest, because my friends, the ones that I told you that graduated from Wheeler, I would link up with them. At the time, CCT was on the square.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I lived in Rolling Hills or Windhaven. I don't know,
Yeah.
whichever one
Yeah.
you know that. And so
On
I
Powder
would
Springs.
walk to the square. Yeah, on Powder Springs. Yep.
Yeah.
I would walk to the square, catch the bus, right? Go all the way over there to East Cobb, hang out with them, link up with them, and we'd be in Roswell and Alpharetta and all of that doing everything. So
Yeah.
I dropped out second semester of my sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
And then went to summer school. Junior year acted right, senior year acted right. So
Right.
that's what
Okay.
happened.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
also we're doing acting. So Mayretta City Limits is one of the shows we're on. That's not acting. That's just we just spotlighting our city. But we
Right.
got Dope Girls coming out. It's dropping in October. Dope Girls. GURLZ.
Yeah.
All right. Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, we followed Tay. Tay pulled up on and I forget what episode I was on, but we was over there with the cars and stuff, just in the backyard kicking it, you know. And yeah, man, Tay doing his thing, man. Tay doing his thing. Like it's
That's right. I remember you. I remember you on the episode. Yeah. Yeah. I like the old cars y'all got.
Yeah, man. It's like mine's about to be done. Like I tell him we need to do a part 2 and see this monster that's about to come out. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, Tay doing his thing, man. So yeah, shout out to Tay Redivision. And the hashtag I'm gonna say it. And don't forget, this is Welcome to Wrasslin. Hey, real quick, you talked about Tommy Wildfire Rich. That's where we got the name of the show from. I was at a NWA Legend Fan Fest in Charlotte. And on Saturdays they had the matches. So we downstairs at the matches, and he walked in. You can tell you done had 1 or 2, 3, 4 of them. You know what I'm saying?
He said
maybe 5,
right?
6 or 7.
And if you ever been to a wrestling fan fest, if there are women there, you might have, if you got 5, if you got 10, you might have 1 to look at. You know what I'm saying?
It's about the odds.
All right. Just being all the way real. So
yeah.
I'm sitting there talking to Ricky Morton, and Tommy Wildfire Rich walks in. This lady comes by. He goes over there and runs by the lady, opens the door up and says, "Well, hello, ma'am. Welcome to Wrasslin." And I had called P.O. and told him that, and we was trying to figure out the name for the show. Welcome to Wrasslin. You know what I'm saying? So if we make it, we can let him know now, but if we make it big, we ain't gonna tell him because we're gonna have to pay him. So
yeah, don't. Well, he probably won't even remember. Look, Lethal Contact Wrestling.
You don't remember that night.
Lethal Contact Wrestling, and this was in Cleveland, Tennessee, at the Armory. We walked. Me and she's my wife now, but we had just gotten back together after being broke up for 2 years, and so this was the first match she was going to. She's never been to one of my wrestling matches. This was her first one.
You had a ball in 2 years, didn't you?
Huh?
You had a good time them 2 years, didn't you? I know you had.
Oh man, I was in Nebraska wilding out, but we got up there, and Tommy Rich walks in. My wife is in the medical field, but he walks in. He said, "Hey, brother, come here." I'm like, "What's up, Tommy?" He's like, "You got some pills?" I said, "No, like I don't travel." But hold on, let me ask my girlfriend. She might got time. She's my girlfriend. So I give him. I'm going, "Hey, babe, you got any painkillers on you?" She's like, "No," but that's just him, man. Like he's so fried. He don't care where he's at.
Right.
I love him, but he don't care where he's at.
You have a good time wherever you go.
He do.
Sure. He might have been doing this or that, but that joker had a smile on his face the whole weekend. You know what I'm saying? Just happy to be around people that still remember him. And that's real. It's got to be hard to, because it was probably hard from him early, because he won the belt early and then didn't have it for what? How long did he have it?
like a
couple
week.
weeks.
He had it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
I
like
think he
10
was.
days, something like that.
Yeah, it was real short. It was real
Right.
short.
It never got back to that level ever again. So that that's probably rough.
Well,
Anyway,
Yeah.
my understanding was Harley. They said Harley kind of did that on his own. Like that wasn't even supposed to happen. What the backstory is, it was kind of like they did a show, and Harley was like he was old. Tommy was so over. He was like, let's do this.
yeah,
So
I believe that.
yeah,
I believe that because from the stories I have heard, Harley, he was one of them guys that could he could handle his own back there in the backstage.
yeah. I don't see
yeah,
anybody.
but
I don't see the NWA committee really like coming down on him too hard. But I can imagine it was a freaking uproar.
yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because he had his own promotion too, right? In St. Louis while he was still the champ. That
right.
Right,
was
and
his.
he used to wrestle for them a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was his
Yeah,
stuff. That was his
yeah,
stuff in
Hmm.
St. Louis. It was
yeah.
over there in Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
that's
I can
his
see it.
territory.
Yeah, a lot of times it would cause issues, especially you got to think back then the money that the Crockett's were making.
Right.
Yeah, that'd
So
probably be like Flair dropping it over there in Puerto Rico just to make it out alive. You know what I'm saying?
glad
That's
you
why
yeah,
he
making
the
it right.
22-time world champion.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You
Well,
know,
good luck,
hey,
John Cena. You ain't fit that guy. I hate that, man. Whatever.
if they better listen. I'm saying it on your podcast. And a lot of people not going to agree with me, but I'm going to hashtag. I'm going to say it. If they allow John Cena to break Ric Flair's record, it'll be a travesty in the industry.
It's a travesty that is tied.
That's true
It's
too. He's
already a
not worthy
travesty.
of it. He's not
Over
worthy of
here, over here is a travesty. You know what I'm saying? Over
it.
in this area, yeah.
Yeah. He said this whole thing right.
You know, like
Yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I hope they don't.
Nobody should never go over 15. Nobody.
Yeah,
Nope.
I agree. Rick set the standard. Like that should be never broken. Never broken. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's on everybody Mount Rushmore. That's one name you're always gonna hear.
Yeah.
You know, man, you're always gonna hear that name.
Yeah.
Everybody got him on there. You know what I'm saying? So,
He put in the
but
work.
I will tell you this. As much as I don't want to see him break it, like right the way they're going right now, I don't have no problem in what they've been booking. You know,
As far
so
as
if they
him
think
being
it's going,
turning heel and all that.
yeah, like I mean, and I'll tell you, man, like I told you last week, I think it's genius what they're doing. Because we all sit there and saying, what is he gonna be dressed like? What is he gonna do this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't change nothing.
Yeah. That
He
was
told you,
good.
and then told you why. He said, I don't
Yeah.
dress like you, you dress like me.
I like that. Listen, we've never seen him have the attitude he does have now.
Mm,
I just don't want him to break Ric Flair's record. I don't know what it is.
yeah. Well, he had to win it 8 more
Now,
times to break his real record.
I I will
That
I
true.
will say this. Cause Smooth, you mentioned that you said you don't think he's worthy.
Yeah.
I see two sides to that.
Mhm.
No, I don't want him to break the record. We wasn't John Cena fans. However, if anybody put the work in, it was him.
He
If we
carried
basing it
Like
off that, yeah.
all
carried
the
that
Make a
company
Wish
for over 10 years on
foundations,
his back
all
by
the doing
himself.
all the
Not
Good
by
Morning
himself.
Yeah.
Americas, and like dude
Yeah.
was.
All the
I
Make a
mean, he
Wish
was.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, to
he
make one.
did his thing, but he was Mr. WWE. But
Yeah.
but
He carried the company on his back now for a long
yeah, but
time.
I don't want to see that either though, bro.
Nah, I don't
I,
want to see it either.
and I think, and again, I feel like it's just me, but I'm also stuck in that era because
Yeah,
I'd rather
yeah.
see Goldberg win the title at WrestleMania than I would.
Hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on
He gonna
now.
spear Cody 14 times and then pin him.
I don't know. It's just
And they're gonna have to help him out of the ring. Cause he gonna
yeah.
hit his head twice or something.
Well, I thought Taker was gonna Boy, I thought he was finna take him to the woodshed, messing up in that match, man. Them botches.
Woodshed hell, he better be glad he was able to walk after that match.
Yeah,
They have
they
to
almost
him
killed
off.
him.
Yeah. But because take he's got a hot head about him too in the back, man. Like when it comes to what we call locker room justice, he's the judge.
Yeah,
You know?
he
And
yeah.
everybody knows it. And
Yeah.
no question that. You ain't
No,
never heard nobody question the Undertaker on no DVD or nothing.
Right.
You know?
You won't. You won't. So the
That's
fact
just
that he
like
allowed him to walk out.
It's just like the screw job. That man was mad because he didn't know it was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
But he felt like they needed to talk to him too. And he wasn't even in the match.
Well, even think about WrestleMania 14 with the HBK Stone Cold situation. They said Taker, he was in Gorilla with Tate Fist.
Yeah.
they take his fist up. Like if HBK wasn't gonna do the job, it was gonna be problems.
Time to stretch. Time to stretch.
But you know what though, man? And if any time that he would, I don't never see him not doing it. Listen, that man HBK made everybody look like they were amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a good showman.
Even on his worst days, he might have been a dick, but I don't. Me personally, I don't see him ever putting them in that position where he wouldn't put them over. I know your boy, and we talking about POT, your boy Bret Hart. We anti Bret Hart too. We don't like LeBron James, and we don't.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But you speaking for yourself on the.
That's why you looking at him like that.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm not like a LeBron sexual. Michael Jordan is dope to me.
That's why he got the bald head.
LeBron, though, you know, you can't deny his greatness.
Okay, so who's better, him or Jordan?
I already said MJ's the greatest. That's the GOAT.
Okay,
that's my GOAT.
And then there's Kobe, and then there is Larry Bird. Then there's
there's other names.
There's other names.
My thing with LeBron though is that nobody been this good this long.
Yeah,
dude, 40 years old, 22 years in the league, and he's still one of the top 10 players in the league today.
And still balling like he is in his prime. So
yeah,
you know,
and still scared to take over in the fourth quarter. So
he be hurt. You know, he always got an injury.
Matter of fact, you know, I saw a stat. Funny you mentioned that. I saw a stat. Somebody put a stat up on one of those sports shows.
He's the statistician of the show.
Well, stat numbers don't lie. They show like clutch shots in fourth quarters and overtimes, like throughout his career. He had more clutch shots made than anybody.
Yeah, he spent half the time passing the ball.
Well, yeah, but see, when he passed the ball,
I'm just talking shit.
When he passed the ball, I know that, but when he passed the ball in the game, people say, "Well, he should have took the shot."
He should have.
He's the star of the team.
He's a genetic
freak. Basketball player though, like he makes the play. He's more Magic Johnson than MJ, my opinion.
Okay,
yeah, I can give you that. I give you that.
No, he gets everybody involved.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? Hey man, MJ and Kobe were stone cold killers. All right.
Yeah.
He not that guy, but he close to it. You know.
Well,
ain't nothing wrong with Bron.
What his son gonna be?
That's a whole nother conversation right there.
I think his son just needed.
I think Jello balls better than
lately. Son got better.
But hey, hard work will get you there.
Yeah.
Some folks just need an opportunity. But it's just like you can't expect the kid to come in here and just take over after 1 year in college, 2 years in college, or whatever.
And that's why I think he should have stayed. Yep.
Yeah,
I think he should have stayed.
And even if he don't, let him go put in work in the G League. Let him go do what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
39 2 nights ago.
Hey,
how many?
39. And he had
17.
Yeah, 39 2 nights ago in G League game. And he had 17 in the NBA game last week.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay, and then he got a little brother that's coming up too, right? Am I right?
Bryce.
That might be the one though. Bryce might be the one.
He
It's
going to
always
Arizona.
yeah. It's always hold on for 1 second, gentlemen, so we can end it right. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, man, we can sit here all day and talk about that. And but look, Greg, man, we appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Hey man, first interview of the show. So you're gonna go down in history. And,
Appreciate it.
When we make it big, we won't forget about you. You know,
for sure. For sure.
Listen, it's Welcome to Wrasslin. Y'all check us out at YouTube/Welcome to Wrasslin. You want to be on the show, you got any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, hit us at w2wrasslin@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's Welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome to Wrasslin, Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the POT. Podcast tag champs of the whole world. Slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash. Straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.